Ryan O'Reilly has resurfaced at practice. First and foremost, bravo. That's fantastic news coming off the broken finger and surgery. And it seems like he's going to get plenty of game action before game one against Tampa Bay Lightning, which I think you call it a win considering a couple weeks back. It was doom and gloom time. O'Reilly goes down after 8 games of the Maple Leafs and the sky was falling. So it's great to see him back at practice. I think it helps that it's an injury to his upper body, namely his hands, so the guy can still skate. Stamina shouldn't be an issue. Cardio shouldn't be an issue, which I think is excellent news. So it takes us to the conversation, where's the best spot in the lineup to deploy Ryan O'Reilly? I think third line center makes the most sense. When you have Austin Matthews, the way that line's playing right now with Yarncroke and Marner, John Tavares and Nylander, I mean, that chemistry has been going on for a long, long period of time. I just think it makes perfect sense if you want to use another combo on the third line. I know Sheldon Keefe's been going at it with Michael Bunting the last little while, but I don't mind the prospects of having sort of like a shutdown checking line, if you will, with Ryan O'Reilly and Michael Bunting as the anchors of that line. Now, we'll see if that comes to fruition. We'll see if they try that out in practice. I mean, we've seen every configuration and combo possible, even in the 8 games when Ryan O'Reilly was in the lineup. But I think from surely a matchup standpoint, I think that line with O'Reilly and a Bunting would be very, very difficult to play against. And on top of that, I think they'd be sneaky offensively too. Like, we know what Ryan O'Reilly can bring to the table. We know what Michael Bunting has done here in a contract year. He was great last year as well. Oh no, I mean, it's been a fantastic pickup a couple off seasons ago via free agency, coming over after his time with the Arizona Coyotes. So we knew Kyle Dubas knew a lot about this player, and I think he hit the ball out of the park. And I know he's been sparring a bit with the head coach as of late, but that's going to happen from time to time in the sports world. And we're going to ask Gabby Boudreau about this. Supposedly Bunting was benched after he failed to acknowledge his head coach, who was, reading him the riot act maybe a bit, letting him know what he did wrong, and he didn't want to acknowledge him. And supposedly he was benched after this clip. So we'll ask Gabby about that, his thoughts, his impressions. I'm sure Gabby went at it with a couple players in his time, and maybe it's a bit of tough loving as well from Sheldon Keefe. But I do think that's a perfect roster spot, at least right now. I know when Ryan O'Reilly came over, he was playing center. They had Tavares on the wing. They tried a variety of different looks. And I just think from a matchup standpoint, it just makes a lot of sense to have Ryan O'Reilly as your third line center. And of course, you can change it up if it's not working against the Tampa Bay Lightning. But most importantly, I'm just excited to see Ryan O'Reilly back in the Maple Leafs lineup. And it looks like it could happen maybe even as soon as tomorrow. But I think it's more likely maybe over the weekend, in the next week, as we get closer and closer to the Stanley Cup playoffs.